Good morning and welcome to Meemaw Reads Her Favorite Books. This book that I'm going to read today, it's called Hermie, a Common Caterpillar. It's a great book, has many different lessons, and I know we're almost getting ready for, actually I saw a butterfly the other day, so you know that spring is here when you start to see butterflies and caterpillars. This book is called Hermie, a Common Caterpillar, and it is by Max Lucado. It's a great book. Wow, said Hermie the caterpillar as he looked at the tree above him. A beautiful butterfly was resting on a large green leaf. His brightly colored wings were covered with dazzling white spots. Hermie gasped and whispered to himself, "He's about to fly." And with a lift of his wings, the butterfly was in the air, circling softly in the summer sky. "Oh, how I would love to fly like that," Hermie wished. He watched, and the butterfly was a speck in the sky. Then Hermie sighed and turned away. What do you think? You think Hermie wants to be a butterfly? Hi, Ruby. Now, as a rule, caterpillars are not very exciting, but Hermie was even more ordinary than most. Some caterpillars have spots, not Hermie. Some caterpillars have stripes, not Hermie. He had nothing but smooth green skin, some freckles, and a bunch of feet. Hermie was a common caterpillar. He ate common leaves, squirmed through common grass, did common stuff. Hermie was a common caterpillar. Hermie did one thing, however, that was not common. He talked to God. He talked to God about all sorts of things, and God talked to Hermie. Of course, he didn't really hear God speak out loud. God spoke in Hermie's heart. Late at night, when the other caterpillars were asleep, Hermie would crawl out of his bed and stare up at the sky. Then he would talk to God. "God, why did you make me so common? Other caterpillars have stripes. Some have spots. I even saw one with spots and stripes. But me, I don't have anything. I'm just Hermie." "And I'm just Wormy," said a nearby voice. Hermie turned and saw a caterpillar that looked very much like him. No spots, no stripes. Another common caterpillar with freckles, his friend Wormy. Once Hermie had told the other caterpillars that he talked to God, and they all laughed. But not Wormy. He understood. That's how they had become friends. Wormy talked to God too. When Hermie and Wormy felt common, God would say, "Don't worry, I love you both just the way you are, but I'm not finished with you yet." As they would feel better for a while, but then something else would happen, and they would feel common again, like the day they met an ant named Antonio. Antonio was smaller than either of them, but on his shoulder was a big pine cone. They were amazed at the strength of that ant. Wow, can you imagine being so little and pick up something so big? "My," Wormy said, "how do you carry such a big load?" "It's how God made me. He made me strong," Antonio answered, and off marched the tiny ant with the big load. I think they're impressed. That night, Hermie and Wormy asked God, "Why can't we be strong like the ant? We could never do what he could. Why did you make us so common?" God's answer was the same as always. "Don't worry, Hermie and Wormy. I'm not finished with you yet." And they felt better, at least until they saw a snail. One afternoon, the sky opened up and the rain soaked the ground. The two friends hurried as fast as they could to get to a dry place. Suddenly, they heard a low, scratchy voice. "Looks like you're in a hurry." Hermie and Wormy stopped. They all looked around, but they didn't see anyone. "Did you hear something?" Hermie asked. "I did," Wormy replied. That's when Hermie saw a small snail peeking out of his shell. "Greetings," said the snail. "Looks like you're trying to get out of the rain." "We sure are," Hermie answered. "We're getting soaked." "You need a house like I have," said the snail. "That's your house?" Wormy asked. "Sure is. Watch." And with that, the snail pulled his head into his shell. "See, it's nice and dry in here. I take my house with everywhere I go," the voice echoed. The two friends were sad. They wondered why God had not given them a cozy little house like the snails. Poor Wormy. Poor Hermie. Later that night, Hermie and Wormy asked God why he gave the snails such a wonderful house, but gave them nothing at all. Why do we have to be so common, they wanted to know. Again, God's answer was kind and polite and patient. "Don't worry, I love you both. And I'm not finished with you yet." So they felt better. And for a long time, just thinking about how much God loved them made Hermie and Wormy feel special and not too common until... Oh my goodness, I wonder what happened just now. One day, they saw a ladybug named Lucy. Oh, what beautiful black spots she had. Neither of the caterpillars had ever seen such spots. They were perfect black, shiny circles. "You have such pretty spots," Hermie exclaimed. "So black and shiny," Wormy agreed. "Oh, thank you," Lucy answered softly. Then the ladybug blushed because she was very shy. "I mean it," Wormy said. "We have never seen anyone with such beautiful spots." "You are very kind," she replied, "but I had nothing to do with it. This is the way God made me." Hermie and Wormy wanted to be grateful for the gift God had given the ladybug, but it was hard. Both of them felt so common. She is a beautiful ladybug. That night, underneath the bright stars, Hermie prayed, "God, we know you are good and wise. We know you love us just the way we are, but we don't understand why you made us like this. We're so very common," God said. "Yes, common," both caterpillars answered. "Remember," God told them, "I love you just the way you are, but I'm not finished with you yet." Hermie sighed. He wanted to feel better. He tried to feel better. Usually he did feel better, but that night he still felt sad. He also felt tired, more tired than usual. I wonder what's wrong with Wormy. Why does he feel so tired? "Wormy," he told his friend, "I am so sleepy. I feel like I need to sleep for a long time." "Then let's make you a soft, comfy bed." Once Hermie found the right leaf, he hung down and closed his eyes. "There," Wormy said to his friend, "have a good long rest. I'll be waiting for you when you wake up." Hermie thanked his friend. Then he prayed to God and said, "You know, God, it's okay that I'm just a common caterpillar. You love me, and that makes me special." Then Hermie drifted off to sleep. So he's in this nice little bed now, and his friend is watching out for him. As he slept, he dreamed that he was different. He had strength like the ant. He had a house like the snail. He had spots like the ladybug. He dreamed he was no longer a common caterpillar, but something very special instead. And after what seemed a long time, he woke up. Everything around him was dark. Hermie was covered from his head to his toes. What had happened to his comfy bed? He wiggled and squirmed to get out, and when he did, what do you think is going to happen? He and his bed began to fall. Suddenly his bed cracked open, and Hermie felt a tickle on his back. Something wonderful happened. Wings fluttered open, wings he didn't even know he had. They were wonderful, wide, colorful wings with beautiful spots, and they were his. Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful he is. Hermie stretched out his wings, and then he was flying up, up, higher and higher. That's when Hermie realized what God had done. Now he understood. God had made Hermie special, inside and out. You think Hermie looks very happy? I think so. He wasn't like the ant or the snail or the ladybug. He was special, one of a kind. No one else was exactly like him. He was Hermie, a beautiful butterfly with a beautiful heart. He soared high through the air, to the right and to the left. Then he thought of his friend Wormy. From the air, Hermie looked down at his broken bed. Nearby were the ant, the snail, and the ladybug. They were all talking to Wormy. "Wormy," Hermie called. Wormy heard his friend's voice. "Hermie, where are you?" he called. "I'm up here," said Hermie. Wormy looked up and saw a beautiful butterfly. "Hermie, is that really you?" "Yes, it's really me." "Wow," said the ant, "you look so different." "Goodness," gasped the snail, "you are so big." "Oh my," admired the ladybug, "you are the most beautiful butterfly I have ever seen." And there's all his friends. "God was not finished with me after all," Hermie said. Then he flew down and stopped right next to Wormy. He gave a big butterfly grin and whispered, "Wormy, God loves you just the way you are. But guess what? God is not finished with you either, my friend." "You don't think so?" "I know he's not," said Hermie. "You know, you may be right. I'm starting to feel pretty sleepy too," Wormy said. Then he yawned a big yawn, and Hermie smiled a big smile. Do you think it's Wormy's time now? I don't know. Let's see. And it was. And now he's in his little cocoon, and he is going to, or chrysalis, sorry. And soon he will wake up and be a big, beautiful butterfly, just like Hermie. Thanks for reading this book with me, and we'll see you another day.